Damn. Well, you see what we're doing. We'll see what we're talking about early on. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. I'm not Ryan Ripken. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm not Ryan Ripken. Ryan will be joining us shortly. So that is that. Happy Friday. We don't got a lot to talk about. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to be real with everyone. There is not a lot to talk about. Football season is officially in the rearview mirror. We have, I guess, if not that we ever talk NBA, but we're on the NBA All-Star break, so nothing there. Hockey's on a 2-week break. We don't talk hockey, but hockey's also on a break. So even if we wanted to talk hockey, not there to talk about. Winter Olympics is going on. That's been pretty fun to follow. Some drama going on in figure skating. I don't know the whole thing, but maybe some collusion. Can I say that? Is that an accusation on this show? Maybe. But because it was against us, I'm going to claim collusion. So possible collusion going on in figure skating. But we do have some Orioles content today, along with some things from the National Football League. I guess I could have talked about Chambliss as well. Maybe I'll get into that when Ryan joins the show. But when we get into let's just hop into it. Let's hop into it, and I'm going to start with this simple topic that in the National Football League is creating headlines today for, once again, all the wrong reasons. Because why would the NFL and the owners ever have really any positive spotlight at all? But today it was announced by Adam Schefter, by the, I guess, NFL, that there was a grievance filed against the Players Association saying, hey, we don't want the report cards. Woody Johnson very publicly over the season said, hey, I got an F last year. That's embarrassing. We should not have these NFL report cards coming out. So J.J. Watt weighed in a little bit and says NFL won't let actual players grade the workplace they attend every single day, but they'll allow a third-party grading service to display, PFF, their rankings of players on national television every Sunday night, pretty much saying, hey, is it not a little hypocritical that you guys want to put us on blast for what we're doing well or not in these grading systems every time we step on the field? But when we simply want to keep transparency with the fans, with everyone, of how things are going inside the organization, well, that's where the owners start saying no. So it's the honest truth of this is all coming to fruition because the owners got embarrassed. The owners did not like being held accountable. I don't know if you noticed this, but especially guys like Woody Johnson in New York, accountability is his enemy. He's got his kids giving Madden ratings as part of the reason why they should draft this guy over this guy or sign this guy over that guy, promote this guy over this guy. It's a crap show in New York like we've already known, but now it's impacting everyone because Woody Johnson put out this grievance saying, hey, I got an F because I'll tell it to you straight, Woody, you're an F- owner. Embarrassment to ownership. But Woody Johnson and the Jets were upset because they got graded poorly. So they're like, hey, this is it for everyone. Now, the issue with this is the NFL report cards were working. And let's not get that mixed up. They were working. Even teams like the Ravens. The Ravens are seen as this first-class organization, this organization that can do no wrong. Well, then the report cards came out, and it ends up, hey, there was a lot of things that they could do better. Hey, facilities, not up to standard. We want better cafeteria, facilities in the weight room, all of that. It's not up to standard of where other teams are. What happened over this last offseason? They got better. Steve Bisciotti saw the public report cards and said, yeah, not happening. Players didn't like it. Yeah, we'll fix it. We've seen multiple cases across multiple organizations of, hey, things as simple as why isn't the daycare on scene better? They make it better. The whole point of these report cards was to make it more transparent, make it more accountable to the owners, to just, they can't just sit back and pretend everything is sunshine and roses and, oh, we didn't know about this. Well, you did, because it was public information. This was one of the best things the NFL had done in a long time. And once again, because it was doing so well, owners, and I'm not going to say it was all owners. We all know the owners it was. It was the owners that got the Fs. It's the owners that got embarrassed because of how poorly they run organizations, because of how big of a laughingstock the New York Jets and Woody Johnson have become to the rest of the league. Woody Johnson can go out there and publicly say that, throw his quarterback under the bus. Woody Johnson stood in front of a room of reporters and threw his starting quarterback under the bus, to where his young quarterback had to stand up in front of the same reporters and pretend that didn't get to him. So Woody Johnson can go do that. He can go throw Justin Fields under the bus. He can go embarrass Justin Fields in front of reporters. But the second he has to have the slightest bit of accountability for his laughable failures as an owner, embarrassing failures as an owner, well, now we're suing the NFLPA. No, please don't make that stuff public. This goes against everything. Accountability, everyone, we players have to take accountability every single day. They miss a single block, it's on all 22. Trust me, it ends up on ESPN. Trust me, every Twitter account. Ask Daniel Falalele if there's accountability, if people hold them accountable, because it's every freaking play is getting screenshotted. Every wrong route is getting zoomed in on, and they're being held accountable by the masses. They're being crapped on by the fans. And the second things started getting better because owners finally had to be held accountable, here we are. It's gone. Just as fast as it was here, it's gone. And that's the sad truth about where we stand with the National Football League, is something that was actually helping, actually making some of these organizations better. Like I said, Ravens are seen as a top-notch organization. They did not have a good report card. They ranked high in some things, but there was also a lot of things that made you go, wow, I didn't realize that the Ravens were not up to par with that. All we hear is how great of an organization they are. Oh, facilities aren't top-notch. Oh, this is not where it's supposed to be. And what happened, like I said, Steve Bisciotti, probably embarrassed of what was happening, was like, no, hey, I'm the owner. I can make these decisions. We're fixing this. And that's what the whole point of the report cards were, to hold owners accountable and make them actually have to fix the issues that are going on in their organizations. And now here we are. And Alvin Kamara, if you follow him on Twitter, he's been making jokes about it and stuff. But I would not mind. There is no one stopping players from just posting their grades. Hand out a report card. And that's the thing. This wasn't just one or two people that were getting report cards. And it's like, oh, well, this was just a few people. This was something that it was like 80-ish% of all players participated, something along those lines. So that was real great. That was how the overall players felt about organizations. But don't ask owners to be held accountable, because they will lawyer up real quick. They sent the lawyers on the NFLPA because Woody Johnson was embarrassed that he couldn't get away with how bad of an organization, how publicly players finally were saying, hey, this is bad. This is really bad. There's nothing good about the Jets here. The ownership sucks. The facilities suck. Everything about this sucks. It's disappointing. Chris saying, am I surprised? Not at all. Am I surprised by this? No. Doesn't mean I'm not still disappointed because they finally got something right. And then, of course, they took it away because the people with the money, they didn't like that. And when you start messing with the people with the money, they are going to try to do everything to escape accountability. So that's my rant. Got a little bit more fired up than I anticipated, but it's utter BS. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, it's just the fact that we sit here and have to once again go back to what we had in the no transparency and all of that. It's disappointing. Where's the leadership? As the owner, you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to understand the best run organizations. They understand something's not going well. Okay, we're going to fix that. It's the bad organizations that owners got embarrassed. I mean, I say owners. We all know which owner it was because he publicly made a statement about how he's trying to stop it. Woody Johnson earlier in the season. So that's where we are. It's where we are. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about that because I love just love when the NFL finally gets something right and then they decide absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show live weekdays 3 to 5. Once again, it's going to be a shorter show today. Ryan should be joining us in a little bit. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Man's busy. We have some pretty fun things planned, though, that we will announce over the coming probably weeks. So stay tuned for that. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. But let's move into some Orioles. Spring training. Just talked about leadership. And quite frankly, it's something that was the biggest missing piece in the 2025 Orioles. In 23 and 24, you had leaders. You had the Kyle Gibsons. You had the James McCann. I mean, talk about a leader. James McCann. You had these veterans that led by example, that were there and showed the young guys the ropes. So question is, who is going to be the leader of the Baltimore Orioles? Who is going to be the leader in that clubhouse? The leader in that organization that when either shit hits the fan can go, okay, here's how we get through it. Or just in everyday, day-to-day things, lead by example on how to bring energy. Well, that was a big question going into this year, and we might be getting more answers as we kind of had thought. As Jordan Westbrook today talked about Pete Alonso. Westbrook said Pete Alonso looks like he'll be a leader in the Orioles clubhouse. Seems like he is going to be a leader in the clubhouse. Big voice for us, veteran. Brings the energy every single day or every day. Also, shout out Jacob Calvin Myers. He's been using JCM stuff a lot. So shout out JCM. Always on. Make sure to go give him a follow on Twitter and read up on all of his stuff. Friend of the show, friend of the program. Good guy. Good kid, I should say here. Highest form of compliment on the Ryan Ripken Show. But when we talked about when Pete Alonso first signed, we said there are multiple reasons for this. One, it is a massive, let me say it again, massive bat to add to the middle of the order. He is a guy who shows up all 162. He's going to play 160, 155 plus games every single year. You can pencil him in at first base in the middle of that lineup, all 162, and know that he is going to be there for you. That was a big addition, just simply off of showing up every day. Then you talk about, like I just brought up, the bat. He's going to drive in 100 plus, 126 runs last year. Hit over 40 jacks. It's what he does. It's a massive bat that then helps you protect Gunnar, helps you protect Westberg. Taylor Ward's here. Now he's adding into the protection. It just takes the stress and pressure off the rest of the team to say, hey, I don't have to be that guy. I don't have to be the guy. I can just be a guy. I can help pass the baton, keep the conveyor belt going. That's what was important about Pete Alonso. But what also happens is what goes on in the locker room. Everyone that has been talked to, that we've talked to, that has been on Foul Territory, MLB Network, you name it, they've been on it. All of his former teammates of Pete Alonso, everyone who has been a teammate of Pete Alonso says that guy is a leader. That is a guy you want in your clubhouse. And even funnier, Pete Alonso said the same thing about Chris Bassett, who just joined. Described him as a leader. People are going to learn stuff from him. He is a guy who shows up every day, a gamer. You had two guys, Chris Bassett, you had Pete Alonso, and this specifically about Pete Alonso. The Orioles needed a leader. Not saying that Adley, Gunnar, Westy, those guys aren't leaders. They can't grow to be leaders, but everyone leads in a different way. Adley and Gunnar are very lead by example. Westy as well. They are put your head down, grind, get through it type leaders. And that works. You need those guys as well, but you also need the guy that's going to stand up in the middle of the locker room and have everyone cut the crap, who's going to lead by example and be that voice. And that's what stood out to me. Jordan Westbrook saying, big voice for us. I mean, hell, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Pete Alonso, you watch all the live at-bats, pitcher versus hitter. We got some live batting practice, and Pete Alonso sitting there talking shit to the pitchers, his own guys, because he wants competition. Albarnaz then also alluded to it as well yesterday, saying, hey, we're going to talk a little crap. Here's that tweet by Matt Wyrick. We're challenging our guys to talk a little crap like Pete Alonso did yesterday. You want to get those competitive juices flowing, but it kind of keeps guys accountable too. Accountability, a crazy word we've talked a lot about today. But accountability matters. And pushing that competitive juice also matters. This was a team that I said a million times last year, so I'm comfortable saying it again. It felt like they were going through the motions at times last year, especially once they fell behind, especially once they traded O'Hearn, Laureano, Morton, they Kittredge. Once they got rid of all those guys, the season seemed like it was over. You had a massive hole I don't think you could climb out of. Well, it sucked. It felt like guys were at times just showing up to the field, getting their work in, doing what they need to do, but the energy wasn't always there. You felt it towards the end when you had that string of walk-offs, when the Dylan Beavers came up, Samuel Basayo comes up. You get some more young juice that's trying to prove themselves up there. Then you start to feel the energy again. But now let's pair that young juice with some more young juice and Craig Albarnaz being the manager, being the guy that's going to show up and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the type of team we're going to be. We're going to be competitive. We're going to talk a little shit to each other. We're going to bring out the most with each other because that's what the Orioles do. That's the new way the Orioles are going to play. We talk about it with his different mantras and mindset. This is going to be, if it works out, a grinded out, gritty baseball team. They're going to hit home runs. Look at the lineup. You got Pete Alonso, Taylor Ward, Gunnar Henderson, Samuel Basayo. Westy's got pop. Tyler O'Neill, I know people are not the biggest fan of him, but when he's on the field, dude has pop. Dude rakes. Saw it today, and I'll shout out our old Arkansas boy. Heston Kjerstad, finally healthy, looking better. 410 lefty on lefty today off Keegan Aiken, dead center. I saw someone talk about, but the sound of that ball off the bat. Hey, Silent J, I hope the best for him because if he can be healthy, I mean, that's another big bat. Colton Cowser has big, long ball potential. It's another, when he makes contact, when he gets a hold of it, he can hit it 450 feet. So they're going to have power. But how are they going to perform when that power's not there? And I think that's the big thing that Albornoz is going to instill in this team of, hey, we might lay a bunt or two down to get guys over. We might sacrifice, do a sacrifice squeeze, get a guy in. The hope is that this is a team that is going to find ways to win the close game, because that's what they did in 23. That's what they struggled to do towards the end of 24 and the beginning or all of 2025. No, this is the point, is that they're not going. The whole goal is they have that home run potential, but that's not who they should be. I think the point is that they are going to find ways to, hey, if the home run's not happening, we're going to win in a different way. We'll play small ball. Hey, it's a 2-1 game. Our bats aren't hot today. We're going to lay a bunt down. We're going to steal second. We're going to sacrifice him over to third, and then we're going to sacrifice him in. I think that's kind of the energy that Albornoz is going to bring of like, hey, we'll hit a lot of home runs, but at the end of the day, we're going to do everything it takes to win the game. Doesn't matter if it's by 1 run in the 9th or you're sitting there and you're pitching. They got a position player on the mound because you're up by so much in the 8th. Yeah, it's all about good teams find a way to win. And that's what they did in 23. I mean, the comeback wins, the 1-run wins. It didn't matter because they just found a way. Doesn't matter. No one cares if you were down in the 1st inning. No one cares if you're down in the 7th inning. If you win the game, you win the game. And the games in April mean just as much as the games in September. And we found that out last year when you dug yourself too big of a hole and you couldn't get out of it. So that's hopefully the mantra. And you can't be one-dimensional. I see Mouse Talk, you're saying it again. Like, yeah, you can't. You just cannot be one-dimensional. And this is another thing. You bring up situational hitting. And this is where I think Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso are going to be big, because these are guys that get RBIs, and it's not always with, the double in the gap, or, they're making the big hit with guys on base. Sometimes it is as simple as you have a guy on third, less than 2 outs. I'm not doing too much. I'll hit a ground ball to the shortstop and get the runner in. How many times last year did it feel like you had to rip your hair out because you're like, okay, there's a guy on third, no outs, just find a way in, and then you went strike out, pop up, fly out. Good teams, it doesn't have to be the sexy. Hey, the old saying, chicks dig the long ball? Well, you know what? Just find a way to get in. That's all that matters. Just find a way to get that guy from third in. Guy on second, no outs, find a way to get him in. I don't care if you bunt. I don't care. You don't always have to play for the back-breaking big inning. Home runs are cool. Home runs are fun. I like it when you get to hear like Heston Kjerstad today, like Pete Alonso yesterday, that crack of the bat, the ball flying 450 feet, 460 feet. Those are fun. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting guys in. Orioles added 229 RBIs between Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso this year. It's a lot of RBIs. That's a lot of times that you don't just get those RBIs because you hit home runs, because you hit doubles with guys on first. That's knowing a situation, that's saying, okay, guys on third, 1 out. How do I get him in? We bring up Carlos Lee a lot. We've told the story a few times, and he always said he always had a lot of home runs. He said, but guy on third, less than 2 outs, how do I hit a ground ball to the shortstop? Now, he hit his fair share. He hit some long balls. That's going to happen. You're not just trying to pound the ball into the ground to the shortstop, but it's understanding you don't have to do too much. Yeah, it felt like a normal occurrence. Guy on third, no outs, no runs scored. Hell, felt like every other game they had bases loaded, no outs, and they couldn't get a run in. It's just it's disappointing. It's disappointing. And I think that was a big thing offensively for the Orioles over the offseason to fix, because I do want to say this. People talk a lot about the Orioles pitching staff. And yes, they were not great last year, but they were not the biggest issue. Yeah, you wanted another ace. I think with Chris Bassett, I think adding Boz, I think they, get Bradish back healthy. Rogers, hopefully, you got Dean, you bring back Eflin healthy. The starting rotation and pitching staff is going to be better. But a big thing that people kind of forget last year, because it was a down year for everyone. The offense was bad last year. Let's look this up. Let's look up these team rankings, because this is always fun. So, runs per game last year. Baltimore Orioles finished, gosh, now I got to do. Orioles finished 24th in all of baseball last year in runs per game. RBIs, they finished 25th in RBIs. How about batting average? Oh, I'm just going to say bottom 6 on base percentage. Bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bottom 8. 8th worst. OPS. A little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10th worst. But you get what I'm saying. This was not a team that you looked at and you went, yep, fix the pitching. That offense was good. It is a team that struggled in all phases of the game. Fielding at times, you were like, what's going on? Orioles need to get better in all facets of the game. And I think they have. Definitely offensively, I think that lineup is really good. I think you get steps from Basayo and Beavers, which, by the way, we've said before, they're going to struggle. When you have a young team, young players, they're going to have growing pains. Dylan Beavers will go 0 for 15 at one point this year, probably. It's all part of it. But did want to have something a little bit more fun. Craig Albanese might be my favorite manager of all time, and he's only been here for a few months. Here's him today talking about, once again, shout out Jacob Kalbenmeyer for the video over on Twitter, was asked about Orioles got some big guys, and Albanese is 5'8", but O's got some big guys. So what's going on with maybe a benches clearing brawl? What happens? And Albanese with an incredible answer. So let's listen to that.
If they do, he's your guy.
If what?
If bullpen's empty, benches and bullpen.
Oh, if a bench is clear?
He's the guy.
Yeah, there's a list of those guys. I'll tell you that. Yeah, there's a list of those guys. Yeah, I'll be hiding in the back. I'm behind them, coming out like a spider monkey, because these guys are huge, you know what I mean? Like the sneak attack approach. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that fit that mold.
Like a spider monkey. Craig Albanese, spider monkey. I love, listen, is this an earth-breaking thing? No. But this is fun. I understand why players rave about wanting to play for him. He seems like he's a fun guy. He's a guy who's always cracking jokes. We saw him at the winter meetings. He was walking around a few times, and we were sitting there doing work, and he would just make funny comment, walk by and yell something to us. He is hysterical. He is absolutely hysterical. And I understand why guys, when he came over from Cleveland, why all those players were like, oh my gosh, you're going to love him. All the fans were like, you're going to love this guy. It just, I don't know what it is, but this seems like one of those guys that can really change a culture in Baltimore. He seems like one of those guys who understands it and how to kind of go about it. I want to make sure. Yeah. Sorry, I was making sure that Ryan had not tried to get a hold of me. But I think it's going to be a really fun year. I think it's going to be a really fun year. So kind of last talking point before we continue the show. We'll see if Ryan joins. But opening day, we've talked about, obviously Jackson Holiday is not going to be available. So in the comments, I'm asking you. Opening day, I would assume Joe Ryan or Pablo Lopez, so two right-handed pitchers, or I would say it's going to be Joe Ryan, that the Orioles will be facing. Who do you all want to see leading off for the Baltimore Orioles? I understand. I think it's still Jackson's job when he's back. I think he is your leadoff hitter. But in his absence, and you can include Westberg. He's not going to be my pick. But who do you all want to see as the opening day leadoff hitter? And I know it's not maybe the most popular thing. I know, Fados fans saying Beavers. I'm between two guys. Beavers, I would love to see get the opportunity just because I love, his approach at the plate. He's never going to do too much. He's never going to try to hit a home run first pitch. He's going to put the ball where it's placed. Hey, on the outside, I'll just give a little blooper to the opposite field. He's going to protect the strike zone. He's going to have an idea of the strike zone. He's going to walk a lot. It might not be popular just because people want him in the 3 spot, in the 2 spot. I really think that Gunnar should be the leadoff hitter. Especially if you can go Gunnar, let's say Westberg is back, Gunnar, Westberg, and then Pete, and then you're probably putting Taylor Ward. Maybe you go Adley to break it up a little bit. I see people putting Adley. And I'm not going to sit here. I see people saying Blaze as well. I don't know. I don't think Blaze gets put in that situation. And yeah, I know Cowser. Yeah, Blaze has speed. I just don't know if they trust him. I see someone saying, why is Holiday? I think Jackson Holiday, that's kind of where they see him as the guy. And I know people, and maybe I think when he returns, they probably put him in probably back towards the end, probably in the 9 hole just to get him back and grooving. But I personally think Jackson Holiday is still the guy they see as the leadoff hitter. I think his skill set of getting on base, knowing the strike zone. I think people forget. I don't think any player in baseball was screwed over more than Jackson Holiday on pitches called strikes that were blatantly outside the strike zone. I just don't. His eye for the strike zone, his knowledge of the strike zone, especially with the ABS system being put in. I think Jackson Holiday, he might not produce the home run numbers. He might not hit the extra base numbers, but I do think that Holiday is going to be given that number 1, that leadoff spot. I think it's going to be his to lose. If someone else goes out and gets it, if Holiday struggles, all of that, then that's one thing. But I think to start, the idea is going to be, hey, we should have Holiday leading off, which I agree with. I think you can't give up on him. 22 years old. Most guys are still sitting in the minors at this point. Hell, some guys are sitting playing college baseball. And assuming you're saying Jeremiah Jackson, yes, Jeremiah Jackson is with the Orioles still. So I don't know if I don't think Jeremiah Jackson gets that. It's going to be interesting to see because of the injuries if Westberg is struggling. I mean, because that oblique, we've talked about it. It's tough to rebound from mentally and physically so fast. And I understand that he's going to be getting into grapefruit game league games and all of that. I just don't. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would love them to take it slow because we saw how oblique injury kind of messed with Gunnar. You can ask Ryan; he's dealt with it. It makes it tough. It makes it tough, and even when you're totally fine and you're just taking hacks, like in the back of your mind, it's just the like, is it going to pop? Like, oh, I feel it a little bit. Is it going to pop again? And that is the mental battle that you're going to have to get through. So Westberg, wait until he's 1,000% healthy. Wait until he is absolutely 1,000% healthy and then go from there. You know? Steve, this is a great question. Everyone get Steve. Great question, Steve. Opening day starter. Trevor Rogers or Kyle Bradish? I'm going to be honest, it's Kyle Bradish for me. Kyle Bradish is a dog. Like, I know he's been hurt, and yes, Trevor Rogers put up an incredible year, but I think people don't understand like how good Kyle Bradish is. Like the way, you know, we've sat down off camera with a few players over the past year or so. The way, and I'm talking pitchers as well, the way their eyes light up when you bring up Kyle Bradish's stuff. They're like, hey, this guy is good. This guy is so good, it's almost uncomfortable. Like, he makes mistakes and gets away with it because of his pure stuff, because of how good his stuff is. In my mind, Kyle Bradish, one, to instill that confidence of, hey, you're still the ace. Like, you are the guy. So in my mind, Kyle Bradish, he's your opening day starter. Let me know though in the comments. Sam, you know what? This was you're right, Sam. This was a very unpopular take. Chris Bassett. I think, and I would say if it was on the road, maybe. I just don't. I just don't. I think they still go Bradish, Rogers, then Bassett. Even, I get what you're saying with, okay, you want to go with the veteran, maybe take some pressure off these guys. But Kyle Bradish, in my mind, he knows he's an ace. He's established himself as an ace, And no, if you've watched the stream, the last thing we've done is doubt Kyle Bradish. We talk about Kyle Bradish as if he is the ace. He is the ace of this team. And yeah, if he's healthy, that's more of just any pitcher at this point, because as you said, he gets Tommy John, which everyone gets. It's just the risk of being a pitcher at this point. But these guys, same with Shane Baz. We talk about, okay, if he's healthy, he's coming off of Tommy John. That's the only major surgery he's had. And no, because right now, let's look. Let me pull this up. So if you look at, everyone wants to compare to him, so let's do it. Let me pull this up real fast for everyone so we can, because I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a lot about, are there too many right-handed pitchers in the Orioles? They have, in the six-man rotation, they only have one. Well, here's the Dodgers. The team that everyone feels you're chasing. 5 righties, 1 lefty. I don't think it matters. It's whether or not the guys produce. Yes, it's nice to have a few lefties in there, maybe because maybe get some different lineups. See, maybe they have to pull some guys, things like that. But I'm not too concerned about, do the Orioles have too many righties? Because it does feel like it is a situation where, okay, it would be nice to have, a few, more diversity in right-handed versus left-handed. I mean, the Yankees, they have Max Fried as a lefty, Ryan Weathers as a lefty, but then the rest of their projected starters are going to be righties. Obviously, the Red Sox being in division, Crochet, Ron Hare. So you look at that and you're like, oh, well, they got some good lefties. Yeah, but I don't think it makes or breaks anything. I'm not sitting here going, okay, this not having enough righties is going to be a difference for this Orioles team. And I don't know. They actually, in fact, they probably have too many at one point this year. They had too many left-handed bats. It felt like everyone in that team was a switch hitter or a lefty. I mean, you go through and think about, Adley switch, Basayo lefty, Jackson lefty. You have Cowser lefty, Beavers lefty. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing someone, but had a very lefty heavy lineup. I think with the additions of Ward and Pete, you maybe even that out a little bit. But as we begin to wrap up here today, and I'm sorry, Ryan could be joining in a little bit, but we did not want to. He's running around right now, and we did not want to keep people waiting around and just miss a day of the show. We try to give you guys content every single day. So, a little solo stream for the moment. But as we wrap up, we'll give some quick call-ins and yeah. So call-ins for Rips Better Kids is live now. We'll probably go for the next 10, 15 minutes. So come join, come talk about your thoughts. Come give me your predictions for the Orioles season, everything like that. And we'll talk about it because it is crazy as we sit here. It's February 13th, Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, I guess. Go watch a spooky movie. We're in that dead period right now. And we're gonna go from there. So we will see what happens with all of that. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. No, I'm not Ryan Ripken. Sorry to disappoint all of you. Ryan is running around at the moment, but still wanted to talk a little baseball. In fact, as we're doing that, I had something else I wanted to talk about that I am pulling up right now. So bear with me. Other things like bear with me. Where was this? I didn't bookmark it. So that's great. But yeah, it's going fast. Like it's crazy because spring training, I mean, they got when you talk split squad, all of that, they have some 40-ish games, I think. And also that's something, that's something I want to talk about. Because this needed to be a much bigger deal than it was made. Where did they? So Masson is going to show? I think it's 20 games, which is up from like the 7 that they were doing before. I get it. Ever since, obviously the whole thing with the Nationals leaving, all of that, it creates more opportunity for the Orioles to, they can just focus on the Orioles. But to jump from, I think they were giving us 7 And that was even up because they had given us like 3 or 4 prior years, all the way up to 20 games in some capacity. This is going to be a fun year to watch guys in spring training. And you can bet your ass I'm going to be tuned in every single time they're on TV because I need the fix. I need that Orioles fix. I tweeted out a few days ago, you can hear the song tuning in the distance. I just can't. And this is, yeah. This is not good. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but apparently Luis Ortiz wants the trials to be separate because he's kind of like, I'm going to throw Clase under the bus. I'm going to throw Clase under the bus to make this all happen, to try to prove my innocence. I think they're up to like, it's somewhere around 48 games he had stuff in for Clase. It's not looking good. It is not looking good. So let me tell you, it's, just got a text from Ryan. Ryan's not going to be, doesn't look like he's going to be joining us. So we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. We are hoping to be, though, in Sarasota at some point, hopefully maybe first week-ish of March, maybe. That's the goal. Have to figure some things out, but that is currently the goal. Before we head out of here, are we currently thinking O'Neill will be everyday right fielder? I want to make a joke about that would require him being healthy every day, but that's where we're at. If he's healthy, I think somewhere between I don't think you can pencil him in as every day, because even if he's healthy, okay, you now have Taylor Ward, you have Colton Cowser, you have Leody Taveras, you have Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Beavers. It's 5 guys in the outfield, and they talk about Leody Taveras. I think he was the first guy that was signed in the offseason, and myself included, I was like, ooh, okay, minor league signing, he's not going to be doing anything. They're talking like he's going to be the backup. He's the utility outfielder. He's the play it all. He's going to be the defensive replacement. He and Blaze Alexander are kind of going to be like the jack of all trades players off the bench. So I would almost pencil in Leody Taveras into that conversation of he's going to be on the roster and have a decent role. But I don't see a way that really anyone besides maybe Cowser you can pencil in every day at right field in center field. But besides that, I think everyone is going to be getting a day off here or there just simply because they have a lot of guys that they need at bats for. And that's not even mentioning, we talked about him for a moment, Heston Kjerstad. If he's healthy, if he can put it together again, that's a massive bat to add to this lineup. I think it's a really good bat if he can put it together. Maybe no leg kick this year. I've been seeing some videos. That would be pretty cool. But I just don't think that really anyone is going to be penciled in, And yeah, Beavers, we've even seen that they said earlier today, I think it was Albernaz talked about, hey, Beavers is going to be getting some opportunity in center field as well behind Cowser and Leody Taveras. So Beavers should be playing close to every day. I think Cowser plays close to every day. I think Cam Ward plays close to every day. I think, honestly, Tyler O'Neill is going to be sitting more in that DH spot and then spell someone in the outfield every few days just because I think we've talked about before, you need more defined roles. You need more defined roles in this team of guys knowing they're showing up. I'm the starting right fielder. I'm the starting shortstop. I'm the starting left fielder. I'm the starting catcher. I'm the DH. I think if you do that, it allows everyone to know their job. Did I say Cam Ward? I have been trying my hardest not to say every time I said Taylor Ward, I almost said Cam Ward. Did I finally slip up and say Cam Ward? So, but had a lot of fun filling in for Ryan. This is going to we're going to wrap this up. Appreciate. Yes. Okay. I did. Okay. That's on me. That's on me. I'm telling you guys, every time I said Taylor Ward, I almost said Cam Ward, and I thought I got through the whole show without doing it. But appreciate everyone tuning in. Before we end this stream, though, go take it over to the stream. Take it over to our auto stream. Auto stream, $50 off any type of repair, anything you need it done. A lot of snow in the Baltimore area, a lot of ice. So head on over to Auto Stream Car Care Center. Mention Ryan Ripken or the Ryan Ripken Show that you saw it here and get $50 off. Cannot be combined with other offers. But let's take it from our auto stream back to this stream to end it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. We will be back next week at some time. We'll be back over this weekend if something else happens. If they make a trade, if they make a signing, I don't expect anything. But Orioles baseball, we are so close to being back. I can smell it. I can hear the song tuning in the distance. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. And we will see you next time for another edition of the